Today we visit a marine wholesaler. If you're a reef keeper, that's enough all by itself. Rows and rows of corals and fish. But we'll walk away with a lesson, too. How the professionals frag their corals in this Fincast.
I work for a service company, and we use ChemiPure all the time. We're big proponents. So there are a lot of products, a lot of Boyd products that we find are very useful, but the ChemiPure is definitely a staple.
Hi everybody, John here with another Fincast. Today I'm in Kernersville, North Carolina, the home of Carolina Aquatics, and we're talking with Kris Cline, who is a professional importer, and this guy has fragging down to a science. We're going to talk to Kris a little bit about how to take a nice big akin colony and frag it the way the professionals do. Tell me about, this is a special saw. Tell me about this.
This is it's a Griffin Aqua Saw. Basically, I think it was made originally for cutting tile for bathrooms and things like that, and somebody somewhere went and decided they could put salt water in the base of it and have it automatically cooling the corals as they're being fragged. So it's a pretty awesome unintentional benefit of this saw. So this is one of the most popular ones in the industry right now. Basically, with this one, you have a water reservoir in the bottom, so that water is constantly cooling the blade as it's cutting the coral. So as it cuts through the calcium skeleton, normally it would heat up pretty high, so it would potentially damage the coral beyond repair there. This way it keeps it cool, it keeps salt water on it. You know, you can virtually have no issues with fragging. It makes it a lot quicker healing time on the corals as well. We're fragging a Acanthostrea lordhoensis. It's an Australian, basically a closed brain coral. It's one of the most popular corals out of Australia. This particular one has really good polyp separation, so we should be able to get a cut and actually frag out individual polyps if we wanted to. So this is a really good piece for that. We've already kind of pushed all the water out of the actual tissue of the coral, so we're pretty much at the base skeleton, so it's not going to necessarily tear any tissue as we're cutting.
How did you push the water out of the skeleton?
Basically just agitate the coral. When it first gets agitated, it's going to automatically do that. That's one of its defense mechanisms, and we'll actually gently rub our hand across the top of the coral, which it agitates it even more, and then just, I guess, allows it or forces it to push that water out.
So you're cutting more bone than flesh.
Exactly. If we were actually going to cut the coral without doing this, I think it tears the flesh a lot more. The healing time is a lot greater, and you have more potential damage. Basically, all I'm going to do is try to find a little path before we start cutting on where I want to cut. Typically with something like this, I think what we're going to do is cut this piece right here. So we're going to have a small frag. The key to this is to go slow and have controlled movements so that you don't accidentally cut through a polyp that you're not wanting to. Most of the intentions of the fraggers is going to be, or the value actually of the coral will be per polyp. So most people don't want to risk cutting one of the polyps in half. Alright, so you get a clean cut right through it, and it stays wet the whole time, and very little damage. So now you've got a small piece there.
How many polyps on that?
This one we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a partial polyp here that eventually will grow into another one, but technically that's a 7 polyp frag. Now, we could actually cut individual polyps with this saw. The blade is fairly small, so that way you could maximize your, I guess, profit as a store or as a hobbyist if you're cutting these up and selling them. So I'm going to try to get this one individual polyp out. And this one is very tedious. All right, so that worked out pretty well. And then typically We've got some excess skeleton down here that wouldn't sit flat. So we typically go back and try to clean it up so that it will glue down to the frag plug easier. The key is not cutting too deep into the skeleton so that you don't get the tissue there. So when that sits flat, it'll easily glue down to a frag plug and we're good to go. Once you get it cut and flattened out on the bottom, it's time to glue it onto your frag plug. This is just a little ceramic frag plug, and we've got IC gel, which is basically super glue gel. A lot of people will use the stuff you can find at the dollar store for a real cheap version, and there's also Ecotech Marine has a really nice one. Basically, we just put a small little dab right there. Take the frag, blow any standing water off of it, and just set it down flat. And typically, in a minute or two, we'll set it down so that it can dry. And in a minute or two, that will be dry, and you can put it right in the tank in your frag rack. Easy way to take a piece of your favorite coral and make sure your friend has a piece of it, or a lot of people sell them, have whole businesses that this is what they do.
So thanks to Kris for showing us the way the professionals frag akin colonies. It's really that simple. You got to be careful, and that special saw makes a big difference. Thanks for watching this Fincast. Please hit the subscribe button down below and check out some of the other Fincasts I do. I also talk a lot about cichlids, planted aquariums as well, so check those out as well as my other marine Fincasts. That's all for this one. I'll see you in the next Fincast.